If we could end an epidemic in the U.S. that has killed 10 times the number of Americans who died in all of our nation's wars combined, would we do it? That's how many lives have been taken prematurely because of the effects of smoking. Hi, my name is Jessica Zimmerman, and I am a former smoker, and I am here to persuade you to stop smoking. The purpose of this speech is to better inform you of why you need to quit smoking. I will discuss the dangers of smoking, the costs associated with smoking, and the health benefits of quitting smoking. Let's first talk about the dangers of smoking. According to the journal Health Consequences of Smoking by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Surgeon General on January 11, 1964, the public was first warned of the health hazards of smoking. The report concluded that smoking had a negative impact on health, including the link to lung cancer and heart disease. The conclusion by the committee was that smoking was a cause of lung cancer and cancer of the larynx in men, a probable cause of lung cancer in women, and the most important cause of chronic bronchitis. Since that report in 1964, many other dangers of smoking have been discovered. Smokers die on an average of 10 years younger than non-smokers. In the longevity book by Cameron Diaz, 2016, she lists the dangers of smoking as the following. Smoking also reduces fertility. It increases the risk of cancer in your mouth, esophagus, liver, kidneys, and cervix. It doubles your risk of coronary heart disease. It dulls your sense of smell and taste, and it ages you from the inside out. The ashen color of your skin reflects a lack of oxygen in your body. Smoking damages your nerve endings and is a risk factor for strokes. Smoking yellows your teeth and fingernails and causes you and everything around you to smell like smoke. Not very attractive, is it? But the cool look is what most teenagers begin smoking. In the 2010 Surgeon General's report by Regina M. Benjamin, MD, MBA, she reports that this new research suggests that tobacco companies have altered cigarettes to make them more addictive. In the article Improving Smoking Cessation, Approaches at an Individual Level by Paul Avyard, Volume 21, Issue 2, 2011, frequent smoking is thought to set up a subconscious learning process linked to the release of nicotine from cigarettes. When a person decides to stop smoking, he is afflicted by urges to smoke, often in places where smoking has previously taken place. Cigarettes are deadly. Between 1959 and 2010, lung cancer risks for smokers rose dramatically among female smokers. Risk increased tenfold in male smokers. Risk doubled. From the journal Let's Make the Next Generation Tobacco-Free, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, 2011, page 6. One possible explanation for the higher rates of lung cancer is the filters and vent holes of the cigarette. And most modern cigarettes may lead smokers to inhale more deeply, pulling dangerous chemicals further into the lungs. If we continue on our current trajectory, 5.6 children alive today who are younger than 18 years of age will die prematurely as a result of smoking. Now that we have discussed the dangers of smoking, let's talk about the costs associated with smoking. The World Health Organization is trying to reduce smoking in many countries. They are trying to reduce the use of tobacco. According to the New England Journal of Medicine, January 2nd, 2014, bans on smoking in public places also reduce non-smokers' exposure to cigarette smoke and can also reduce consumption. Since the late 60s and early 70s, cigarette use on TV and in movies has become almost non-existent. Commercials of cigarettes have been banned, the cost of cigarettes has risen considerably, and new taxes are being added to the cost of the time of purchase. All of this makes it harder to buy tobacco products, therefore reducing their use. Tobacco costs the U.S. $170 billion in healthcare and more than $150 billion in lost productivity each year. Health insurance costs have risen so much, and with smoking causing many illnesses, the insurance companies now sometimes charge the smokers more in premiums. From the book Dr. Chopra Says by Dr. Savaj Chopra and Dr. Alvin Lotovin, 2010, Dr. Chopra says, I tell my patients you pay for cigarettes twice. Once when you get them and once when they get you. There are many benefits of stopping smoking. Now let's discuss some of those. According to the Health Benefits of Smoking Cessation, a report of the Surgeon General 1990, page 41, smoking cessation has a major and immediate health benefits of men and women of all ages. Benefits apply to both persons with and without smoking-related disease. People who quit smoking before age 50 and a half, the risk of dying in the next 15 years than a person still smoking. Smoking cessation decreases the risk of lung cancer, other cancers, heart attack, stroke, and chronic lung disease. Here's a timeline of what happens when you quit smoking. After 20 minutes after you quit smoking your last cigarette, your heart rate drops. 12 hours later, the carbon monoxide levels in your blood normalize. 2 days later, damaged nerve endings begin to heal, and your ability to taste and smell starts to return to normal. 2 to 3 months later, your lung function begins to improve. A year later, your risk of coronary heart disease is half that of people that smoke. 5 years later, your risk of stroke drops and becomes the same as if you had never smoked. 10 years later, your risk of cancer in the lungs, mouth, and throat decreases. 15 years later, your risk of coronary heart disease drops. And then the same as if you never smoked. 20 years later, for women, higher risk of death are reduced to that of women who have never smoked. In conclusion, smoking is addictive, costly, and terrible for your health. Smoking is highly addictive. Once you start, it is very hard to stop. Most smokers will attempt to quit several times, even with aids such as nicotine gum, patches, medications, etc. Before being able to quit entirely, the cost of cigarettes can take a hefty toll, with cigarettes costing approximately $56.90 a carton. Think of all the money, what you could use with all that money could be used for, not to mention your healthcare costs from the diseases smoking can cause. There are no good reasons to smoke, so quit smoking today.